Evening everyone. Sorry there's not been a vlog since Thursday. I have been losing my mind and tearing my hair out over microphones. They've not been working. The wind noise has been atrocious to the point where it's just been popping, crackling. A bit like it was on the first vlog, but I cut out most of it in the first one. As terrible as that first one was. I've just done a quick run up here with it on to test it, and it seems fine. The wind noise is a bit constant, but hopefully with me talking over the top, it shouldn't be too bad. It's freezing. I wasn't this cold yesterday. It's absolutely freezing. Winter is here. Forget winter is coming. Winter is here. It's freezing. I mean, it's only September. No, it's October. We are in October now. It's still not normally this cold in October. It's bloody freezing. But we'll go for a ride and freeze a bit more, I think. Oh, I need an exhaust. I need an exhaust. You can probably see what I mean about the wind. It has been proper windy today because our tree in the back garden's blown over. I mean, it was a bit lopsided anyway, but it's completely blown over now. It's very windy. It's died down a bit, which is why I've come out. It was even worse earlier. I didn't even want to come out any earlier. I was being blown about in the car that much coming back from work. Going out on the bike was just a big no-no, so I've just been playing Skyrim all day. Well, majority of the day anyway. Once I got back from work, I finished at 12 today. I did have a vlog recorded and planned out for today. It was recorded, but then when I listened back to the footage and realised how bad the wind noise was, I forgot about it. I just left it because it was that bad. The popping and crackling was constant. You couldn't hear anything. You couldn't hear me. The sound was atrocious. The wind might just be as bad today, but yeah, the sound was just, it was unbearable. I couldn't bring myself to put a video out of that shite audio. But I was talking about licenses and the bike licenses that you've got to have these days, and especially in the UK or the EU anyway, certain rules and regulations and ways to go about getting your license and what you're allowed to ride. And so I was just talking about the license I'm on, and then the licenses up to getting a full A license. A1 licenses is your first one. You need to be 17. 17 and 18-year-olds can be on an A1, and that allows them to ride a bike up to 125cc. But seeing as you're going to have it for a minimum of, well, a maximum of 2 years really anyway, that license, if you plan on moving up to the next one, you might as well just do a CBT, which you have to do anyway, and just do a CBT, and that expires after 2 years, the CBT. So just get a CBT, just use that for 2 years, and then once that expires, you're ready to get onto the A2 license, which is what I've got. So the A2 license is, you can have a bike up to 35 kilowatts of power. So on A2 you're allowed up to 35 kilowatts of power. That basically equates to about 47 brake horsepower if you go in right on the limit of the weight. The weight is, you can't have not more than 0.2 kilowatts of power per kilogram. Which is, that's a bit harder to describe, a bit harder to explain, because what I was looking at, before I got this anyway, the Honda CB500F, I was looking at a KTM 390 Duke. So I was looking at them, but then when I looked at whether they were A2 friendly without having to restrict the bike, they're not, because they have something like 0.21 kilowatts per kilogram of power, which is just over, which is a bit shit. So I couldn't get that, so I went for this, which luckily sort of the big name companies out there that make bikes, they've started doing these A2 bikes, which are on the limit, bang on the limit, and perfect for A2 riders. I also forgot to explain, an A2 rider is a 19-year-old up to 24. Well, 23, because once you're 24 you can do a different license, which I'll explain in a minute. So they're doing these A2 licensed bikes now, where you buy them and they're just like bang on the limit, perfect. So I think Triumph do a Street Triple S A2 version, which is just the Street Triple S restricted down to 47 brake horsepower factory. Kawasaki do a Z800E, which I believe is an A2 restricted Z800. They also do, who else does it? Suzuki, I think, do an SV650, which is A2 restricted. They're all the sort of restricted versions. They do have bikes as well that are just A2 ready without any restrictions. So Honda, which is who I have never had a bike from anyone but Honda so far. That's going to change when I pass my full license. Honda do the 500 range, which is the 500F, the 500R, oh my god that wind is strong, and the 500X. I have the 500F, which is the naked version, which is why you can tell my head is being ripped off my shoulders right now, and I'm having to turn left into the wind to stop myself from going on the other side of the bloody road. So the X is the adventure style 500, the F is the naked style. As you can probably tell, the CBR 500R is the super sport style, although it's less super sport, more upright, tourer sort of position. But it gets new riders into the super sport feel. It was the one I was going to go for, but then when I looked at the insurance for it and the insurance for this one, the insurance for the naked bike was 300-400 quid cheaper than the one for the super sport, even though it's the same engine, pretty much exactly the same thing. It just has fairings and the pegs are a little bit higher up. It's 400-500 quid more expensive because it's a super sport and it's more attractive to thieves apparently. It did look gorgeous though. I'm not saying I'd nick one, but it did look gorgeous. Not that this doesn't either, because this does. I love it. After A2 licenses, after we've gone through all the bikes and that you can have, after an A2 license, it's after you've had your A2 license for 2 years, wind, You can then you can go and do your full license after you've done 2 years on the A2 license. You can go and do your full license then, which is brilliant, which is what I'm doing in April 2018. I'm going to save up for it. I'm going to have all the money there. I'm going to have like a week's holiday booked and just do it all in a week, get it done, and then I don't know, either sell this, keep it, not sure. You can do direct access, which is when you're 24 years or older, you can do a direct access course, which means you can just go do your CBT, which everyone has to do, but they also have to do all the other training everyone else has to do, but just on a bigger engine bike. So to do your A2 license, you have to do it on a bike that is 495cc or more. No, yeah, at least 495cc I think. So I did mine on a CBF 500, an old one. And then also, if you do your direct access, that has to be on a bike that is 595cc minimum. I apologise if this vlog has been a bit boring. It is freezing. I am struggling to keep the bike straight with the wind, especially going around corners. I definitely need to take it a little bit steadier than what I usually do. It is also freezing, which I may have mentioned twice, but the cold is just seeping into my very bones, and yeah, I'm just getting very, very cold. I just want to get home and get my mixed grill. I've got a mixed grill for tea. Oh yeah. Mixed grill for tea. Mixed grill for tea. I'm so hungry. Sorry for the singing, completely forgot I was recording. Right, I'm going to end the vlog here because, yeah, I'm very cold. I've finished what I needed to talk about. I've tested the microphone, it's good. Thank you all for joining me again. But I do appreciate people watching the videos, it's nice. It makes me feel like I'm doing it for a reason. I've also created an Instagram, a Twitter, a Facebook and a Snapchat. It's all just my name, Ryan Rides Motos. It's all just that. So there's no funny business involved, no changing of names. Easy peasy to remember. So thanks for joining, and I'll see you all in the next video.